Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Yay! Ha ha! How is everyone tonight? I hope you're doing great. I appreciate everybody showing up and everybody that watches the live stream afterwards. But if you want to be part of the live stream, make sure you hit the notification bell and subscribe. And give me a thumbs up because it helps to get the video around. Y'all don't keep me all to yourselves. Ha ha ha. So anyway, I want to say thank you to Mike and Bev because a couple minutes before I went live, they stopped by and bought me a coffee, saying thanks for your heartfelt honesty in this age of deceit in which we live. That's the truth. Look forward to hearing from me. Well, hearing my thoughts tonight. Well, I'll do my best. I will do my best to communicate my thoughts. There's so much going on. I was trying to figure out how to put my thumbnail. I only got so many words to use, but for all intents and purposes, Haiti has fallen. You know, I think it was Diane mentioned something about Haiti Friday night, but there has been street fighting and all kinds of stuff going on. Yesterday, the prime minister fled the country. So there's no law and order there at all. No functioning government to speak of. And it's horrible. It's sad. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of stuff that I put in my thumbnail. I put in there Peekaboo's next, because Jack Smith, he got a poke in the eye about the extortion investigation that he is subject of overseas. And we all know what Fawny Willis has gotten all over herself in Georgia. And so Letitia's next. And Alvin Bragg, that's an interesting situation with Alvin Bragg, because I know most of you watched Mr. T last night, and he did bring up Alvin Bragg. And I wonder if you all noticed what I noticed. But anyway, also got my thumbnail, SCOTUS date set. What do I mean by that? Well, at least one date they set that I know of, April 25th. Mark it down or make a mental note. That's when there's going to be arguments about Mr. Trump's immunity. So hopefully that will be broadcast live. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Like I said, I don't have a memory of live broadcasts from SCOTUS. And so we're keeping an eye on that. And the air quotes, hunt them down. Hunt them down. What do we mean? Well, talking about Tishy James again. Hi, Diane. Hi, Richard. Nice to see you. Diane says, oh, Bummer's Luke moving outside of Palm Springs. 40 miles from you. Oh, my word, that's too close. 400 miles too close. Hi, Joan. Let's see. Oh, I don't know, Richard. I don't know what's in Palm Springs. Would draw him there, but he's got multiple houses. They're all multimillionaires, 100 millionaires. Several hundred millionaires, truth be told. Hi, Damon. Hi, Sherry. Hello, Alan. Hi, Nikki. Tennessee. Lone Wolf. How you doing? Hello, Alan. So we got single songwriter KS Cleanup. Sharon. Debbie Golden. All right. We got two Debbies. Marilyn's here. Jersey Joe said, did Jaden make it back to Ohio? Oh, okay. Yeah, did he make it back? Pure blood, how you doing? Nice to see ya. Sissy's here. I'm just scrolling through. Everybody's stepping up. Oh, come on. My chats freeze up sometimes. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I saw an article on Citizen Free Press before I went live that said, I hate even talking about stuff like this, but it's happening, and people are being shot in the streets, and there's nobody to collect the bodies in Haiti. It's awful. And I saw some video last night in Port-au-Prince. People just running like crazy, and you could hear pop, 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 pop. So there is some kind of power struggle going on there, and it ain't pretty. Hi, Miss Minda Sue. Nice to see you. So Wicked Trillium's here. Let's see, Astro's here. Yeah, Astro. Phil's here. Nancy in Florida. Oh my God, they're trying to stink out every state, aren't they? So now I might as well talk about Alvin Bragg. When Mr. T, he puts this little nuggets out there. That's why I say, listen to him, even though we've heard it before, but repetition. I mean, look how long we had, how many years every single night that we had to listen to the walls are closing in on Trump. Trump, Russian collusion, Russia, night after night after night, hour after hour after hour. So yeah, we can listen to Mr. T once a week or once every 2 weeks. Tell some stories over and over again, but you pay attention to the new stuff. And he has spoken up in a partially positive way when Alvin Bragg. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. He said Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring the charges. He said that multiple times. And he said last night that even Alvin Bragg said they were crazy for what they were trying to do. And he put that in a letter. What was that guy's name? The Democrat operative that wrote the book. I got it written down here. So Pomerantz. And then Coangelo. So he is doing what he's done with every other prosecutor and every other judge. He's not popping them between the eyes. He's giving them escape hatches. Remember how many times I said it in the past? He said, give him Jack an escape hatch. He's giving Judge Engoron an escape hatch when he said, things that were positive about them. And I think he's doing the same thing with Alvin. So we'll see if he's smart enough. So they're not over bright, though, as my grandmother would say. Not over bright. Hi, Bill. How you doing? Let me see what's going on here. BTFP shutdown starts at midnight. My initials are frozen in my brain. BTFP. It starts at midnight. Alan is telling us. So I don't know. We'll see. We get any clarification on that. I appreciate it if we do. So anyway, okay, Nikki, you take it easy if you're not feeling well. You just sit back and listen. Close your eyes, rest your nerves. If you drift off in the la la land, you can always come back and listen to it again if I don't get in trouble. And I'll try to stay out of trouble. So worry not. So anyway, Fawny Willis, now she did get out of her local board of supervisors or whatever that were supposed to do an ethics review or whatever it was, and said they didn't do it, but she still got bigger problems. There's been more filings, and the general consensus is that she stepped in it, and she's going to have a hard time getting off the bottom of her shoe. But we have to see how this is going to play out, because I think this thing is being orchestrated in such a way as to inform the public what's going on. If you think about it, we don't have to have things explained to us. I was going to put in my thumbnail IQ test because that's what Mr. T said last night when he said he spot checks. When he talks, he speaks live, he speaks mostly off the cuff. He can jump from story to story and then return to a story to engage people, kind of like I do. And he said it's called spot checking. It's called spot checking. It's called intelligence. Let's do an IQ test, he said. He's thrown out there to Biden, but not only Biden, but the ones who aren't like us, who have not been paying attention. We want to give you all an IQ test. And class is in session. And there will be a pop quiz at the end. And that will be election day. Okay? Because it's real simple. A one-question IQ test. You want Trump back, or do you understand what the hell's going on with Biden and his gang of communist, fascist, Marxist criminals? Real simple. Are you going to pass the IQ test, or are you going to fail the IQ test? So how do you engage the people in this classroom session, this national class on morality, normality, Constitution, precepts, and things of that nature, if you don't have situations like you're in right now, where the ones that just run around, I call them mouth breathers, the one that can't stand Trump, and hey, to be fair, a lot of people have had it drilled in their head that he's a bad person, and they are productive people. They do have things to do. They do have families to raise. They do have jobs to go to, and they don't have time to research, or they don't understand the need to do their own research and find something else besides the mainstream media, because they are busy people. They're not all a bunch of purple-haired kooks. Even though a lot of them are, but we're getting down to we're just being at the purple-haired kooks. But for the ones who we can reach, you have to have these adversarial positions. You have to have Trump in perceived jeopardy to get these people that can't stand him to engage, to where they will listen on April 25th to the oral arguments at the Supreme Court, okay? Where they will pay attention to who they think is their hero, Fani Willis, and they will see her act like an arrogant, petulant idiot on the stand, which is exactly what she did. So, and on and on and on. We have this class in session. So, like I said, it's a pop quiz on November 1st. One question, pass or fail. So we'll see how that goes. But you guys get the drift of what I'm saying. So a lot of people, if the mainstream media doesn't feel that the SCOTUS is doing their bidding, they complain they're doing things too quick. Oh, wait a minute. They're doing it too slow. Oh, Clarence Thomas compromise. Oh, a 9-0 decision. And then like that one meme I saw, a 9-0 decision, and you blame the black guy. That figures for Democrats, with Clarence Thomas. So on and on we go with this digital battlefield war, digital warriors, or whatever you're going to call it. And what's the latest thing they're doing? Putting out a complaint to claiming that meme makers are what's the way they're wording it? They're giving kind contributions or somehow trying to tangle meme makers up with the Trump campaign insinuating that some sort of illegal campaign activity. Now that is desperation, but what they do is they frame their argument, and they don't have anything else to do except dream up words, phrases, frame arguments, 4 a.m. talking points that all of the regular, quote, air quotes, regular media repeat and repeat and repeat. So we're going to be hearing more of that. That's why we have to kick back with the, what's this about the article of Joe Biden is enlisting an army of TikTokers, paying them to put out his message. Nobody's saying anything about that. I know I'm not getting anything from any campaigns or I've got any 4 a.m. talking points. I'm only, hey, I play MSNBC Shorts, their talking points. I go to Truth Social, I get their talking points. I go on Telegram, I look at foreign news services, you know, in Britain, Russia, Brazil, all over the world. I come up with my own in my brain, okay? What goes in my hopper? I crank the handle on the side of my head and it pops out what I think. So we're all capable of doing that. It's just who has the time? Who has the time? I'm an old fart. I've been to the mountaintop. I don't have a family to raise. I don't have, you know, where I got to punch a clock, and I have the time to do it. What about the people that don't, that have been exposed to this high level, illegal psychological warfare campaign? That's the exact words Trump used, illegal psychological warfare campaigns. And it's coming from the mainstream media. So while we're taming, or at least putting in the corner, Jack, Fanny, now Letitia's going to be next, and everybody else, what are we going to do about this media? Well, you see, the big story coming out was that Anderson Cooper might be on the chopping block. A lot of big names at CNN, because they're enduring, you know, a big economic downturn with their numbers. Washington Post, Trump brought it up. You know, even a super rich guy doesn't want to screw with the Post anymore because it's losing so much money and they're laying off people. Look at CBS. They did their mass layoff. Yeah, they fired Catherine Herridge, and that's sad. And she may benefit from, she will benefit from that. But the bottom line is they had to get rid of people. So these ivory towers are trembling. They're trembling and getting ready to fall. And once that happens, just like with the minority voters for Trump, it got to a certain point where it took on a life of its own. And they said Trump was up to 26% of the black vote. I beg to differ. I saw another poll where it was up in the 40s, you know, mid 40s, 43 to 46, somewhere in there. And that is only going to pick up speed. Same thing with Latino voters. And where the cabal is shooting themselves in the foot with this border situation is that they are allowing anybody from any country to come through. So you can't say, well, you're prejudiced against Latinos. You're prejudiced against whatever. Muslim. You can't do a Muslim ban. You know, no. We got people coming from every country you can think of. And that's coming through. And people can see it. They can see it in their own communities. And it just so happens the Latino community and the black community get hit hardest first. They get hit hardest the first and hardest the hardest with the economic pressures that are put on them, the rise in crime, the reduction of services, rents increases, and can't find a job or a place to live. So it's taken on a life of its own. Same with the media collapse. That is going to reach an avalanche point. What do they call it in the 17 drops? An F5. And that they would collapse under the weight of their own illegality. So that's what we're seeing, folks. We're seeing it in real time. What do I call it? A march through history. So let me get off my soapbox and find out why my comments are not moving. Okay, there they go. There they're moving now. Wow, they just dropped all the way down. I wish they'd number the comments so I could have an idea how far down the line I am. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? So, yeah, Bill said the like button is free. Hit the like button. CJ 1975. How you doing? Let's see. Oh, my goodness, Marilyn. Yikes. Oh, yeah, that sounds bad. Well, been in there for 3 months. Wow. It's an uphill climb. An uphill climb. What's the plan with all of them? David says. Only a handful of people know, but I'm getting an idea of the gist. And, you know, I'm giving myself an IQ test with this thing. I'm asking myself what I've said months ago, and I said were words to look up in the 17th letter site. Did they think we would sit here and allow this republic to be destroyed? Did they think that they would get away with this? Did they think they would walk away from this, what they've done? I'm not talking about the latest stolen election. I'm talking about what they did with Mr. T when he got in there, the spying before he got in there, all the crimes leading up to what we're dealing with now. Nobody walks away from this, okay? And my brain, my IQ tells me that they're getting all set up like pins to get knocked down. And some of them are being told what to do and embarrass themselves on purpose. And that brings me to Biden, the Trump challenge. He said, for the good of this country, we need debates. Okay? Whether you like me or not, whether you like Biden or not, for the good of this country, we need debates. So Biden had his big State of the Union, right? He's, according to all the news agencies, he was on fire. He was the best speaker since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Not like Herr said, a senile, well-meaning old man, confused, right? So he shouldn't have any excuse not to debate. Well, what happened during that State of the Union? Just what I was talking about. They come out and they show all the black stuff inside, okay? All the stank that they propose. Anybody fair-minded knew that what he was saying was twisted words and outright lies. And one of the memes that got them mad, where they felt they had to crack down on meme makers and accuse them of colluding with the Trump campaign, was a meme that showed multiple phrases Biden used. I mean, half a dozen phrases at least. From 2022, 2023, 2024 State of the Union. Just clip and repeat, babbling the same stuff. And you see these weak-minded mouth breathers that jump up and down and act like, oh, that's the greatest speech ever. Well, you've heard it over and over again, and nothing's changed. It's the same crap. But the real one that gets me is where the mainstream media is just criminal in their negligence, much less their maliciousness. I'm talking about maybe they're being negligent to be malicious. Trump cut insulin back to $35. One of the first things Biden did when he got in office was to remove that limitation put on by Trump. Now he's sitting here, let's take it down to $35. And they don't point out what everybody knows in our movement, America First movement. Trump already did that. And you can take that example and multiply it. I don't know how many times. They don't give Trump credit for squat, and we need to point it out. You know, hey, I don't know how much copying memes and putting them out there. For those of you who are still on Meta or Facebook, or whatever they call it, you know, copying memes and putting them out there that are not, they cannot say are bullying. There are memes that are funny. There are memes that are serious. And I need to find one, because we got two names that people are going to be repeating. At least two names that need repeating. Ashley Babbitt and Laken Riley. Okay. And they can call them martyrs to the cause or whatever. I mean, they are direct victims of this lawlessness. And it's like Trump said in the speech prior to this one. And he's speaking directly to Joe Biden. He said, what you have done at the border, what you have done is a very violent thing. And hey, whatever friends I have left that I can't stand Trump, I'll tell them to their face. Allowing that border to be open to the criminality that happened with Laken Riley, and feeling that what happened to Ashley was a good thing is a criminal way of thinking. Or it is a way of, whether intentional or unintentional, supporting criminality. These things would have never happened if they hadn't tried to steal the election and actually done it. And, you know, it's conversations that need to be had. What was another thing that Trump said? He was talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. He said, well, you know, some people would say what she said was too rough, and interrupting the State of the Union, you know, wasn't polite or anything, but she needed to do it. He said, this country needs to be shaken up. And he's alluded to that in years past. We're talking years now, where he said the American people don't get it. They haven't suffered enough, but they will. He repeated that general notion when he said this country needs to be shaken up. And I'm afraid it's going to be shaken up. I saw a report about Armenia. Azerbaijan is elbowing their way into what's left of Armenia and trying to take out any or squeeze out any Russian influence into what's left of Armenia. And it's all being pushed by Western powers. And I bring that up because, okay, we've got one country's government that is a failed state, which is Haiti. we're going to have one that's going to be devoured if things don't change, and that's Armenia. And I remember in a Q post, they said there was going to be assistance from a small country that hardly anybody knew anything about, some kind of verbiage akin to that. And I was speculating about a year ago about maybe Moldova, or I don't know. I'm just thinking, what little country nobody ever thought about? Maybe there's something will happen with Armenia. I don't know. It's kind of at the nucleus of, at the very least, a European war, which will culminate in a world war. And it could happen in a flash. So we'll keep an eye on that too. One thing, well, Debbie, get you something to eat if you're hungry. Get yourself a can of sardines. Tennessee. Man, I was on a tirade. Tennessee, stop by, buy me a coffee, help me out with, buy me a coffee. I appreciate that, Tennessee. Let me got to keep putting out the truth. All right, Tennessee. Now I can read the comments if they're not real long. I can read them. So I appreciate that, Tennessee. Thank you much. We'll get Nikki. Well, give yourself some booms, because I hope Nikki's laying back and taking it easy. Give yourself some booms, Tennessee. Boom, boom, boom. Ha ha ha, Mr. Magoo campaign rally. Well, he was angry. He was nasty. Anybody watching that, that got a good feeling after that, there's something wrong with him. That was not something inspirational. It was not something that, like Trump did last night. He reached out. He said, I'm reaching out to Democrats. We got to, and his theme has been unity, a big step towards unification. This country needs to be unified. Andrew said, want to make a bozo go meltdown? Yeah. I think Trump just getting up and doing his thing every day makes a meltdown. But even they're getting burnt out. I mean, they're getting burnt out. Oh, be careful with that, Roland. Be careful with that. Misspell that word, Koran, okay? Misspell it. Like a zero for an O. One time I don't think will hurt, but got to be careful with it. How you doing, Doc? So got to be careful with it. So Clarence Thomas didn't show up for Biden's babble. Biden babble, that's what I'll call it. So do you think Joe will do a debate with Trump? And let me tell you, I believe that it's a flip of the coin right now for how Trump will behave. I think that my instincts would be to do what Trump said, where he'd ask him, why are you doing this to our country, Joe? What is it with these open borders? What are you trying to do with our country? But I would be, upset and aggressive. But I think Trump is going to temper his dealings with Biden, but still, in a way, kind of like a Dutch uncle or a stern parent, not towards Biden, but the affect that he's going to want to give the American people. Tennessee says his handlers won't let him. I don't know how they can get out of it. I don't know when they traditionally do debates. I know the Reagan-Carter debate was very close to the election. So was the Kennedy-Nixon debates. So it'll have to be after the conventions. The conventions. And boy, talk about making an attempt on Trump. Because they don't give a damn. They proved that on 9 and then 1-1, right? They don't give a damn about us, how many lives are lost. So you talk about one of the most heavily guarded conventions. We won't see a third of it. But figuratively speaking, there will be an iron dome over that. I'm just looking at the chat. Trump said he should have said 2 years ago. Yeah, Border Patrol was doing the same thing China's army would do for free. CHYNA, Andrew, CHYNA. That way nothing, they don't like us talking about them. I don't know how I pulled off State of the Union either. He did it just what I put in my thumbnail, an angry old man yelling at America. Hi, Alicia. Well, Trump says the VP pick is not going to surprise anybody. Well, he might be saying that tongue in cheek. What did he say was the first qualification of whoever he picks for vice president? The main thing he's looking for, that's what Trump said. The main thing I'm looking for in a VP pick. And I tell you another thing he said. I'm checking the chat to see if anybody says what Trump's main qualification for his VP pick is. But another thing that Trump said, and I was going to put this in my thumbnail. I might put it in another one in the future. He's talking about the swamp. It's corrupt and it runs deep. But he said, the good thing is I know who they are. Now I know who they are. And then he said, most of them. So getting back to what I was talking about with SCOTUS, I'm spot checking, just like Trump was saying. A lot of these decisions, they're putting off and handing down to the lower courts to review or back to the original court, the last one that heard the case. I think they're doing a final evaluation, and they're going to get in writing. Our IQ test is simple. The one question, November 5th. There are IQ tests being given out all over this country. Appeals courts, prosecutors, they may not know it. Some of them may know it, like Alvin Bragg. He might know it. You know, you're being given an IQ test, how you handle this situation. And I think it's going to be determinative over who stays in certain positions and who goes and who is going to be charged. What's this latest? We got the one creepy looking, I call him Judge Mascara. Wait a minute, I got his picture in here somewhere. Judge Mascara. He's going to be in the Judge Merchant, Merchn. He's according to Robert Gavoya, hiding the juror identities, you know. These extrajudicial proceedings, these decisions that are in direct conflict with the black letter of the law, direct conflict with the Constitution. They're not, the Supreme Court could swat a lot of this stuff down. E. Jean Carroll, for instance, I'm waiting for somebody to come up with Congress shall pass no ex post facto law. How my understanding of the law, as a layman, I always say, I'm not a lawyer, but when the Constitution stakes out a right or responsibility under the supremacy clause, the Constitution prevails over state constitutions. The federal government Constitution prevails over the states. When it says in the Constitution, shall pass no ex post facto laws, the states can't write in their Constitution or allow in their laws, oh, we can make after the fact laws. So I'm waiting for that to come up as an argument. And maybe the Supreme Court is waiting for somebody to come to the plate. E. Jean Carroll, they made a law after the fact with the express purpose of targeting Trump. Open, blatant, obvious violation of the black letter law, in my opinion. And a simple solution like that, it may have to get to where we hear oral arguments by the Supreme Court on the E. Jean Carroll case. And little Constitution 101 classes for the American public. Maybe that's the purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's a dual purpose where we do a final evaluation of a lot of these judges and prosecutors, along with what I feel are ongoing investigations into their financial dealings, their communications with foreign governments or organizations that are influenced by foreign powers. I think all that stuff being weighed, because this is our one shot. And when we're finished, we have to make sure that it can never happen again, and that this story is being told 100 years, 200 years, 300 years from now. This story that we're talking about right now, that we're living through and experiencing, oh, I'm exaggerating. I'm just saying, somebody out there that, might be just tuning in or whatever. Did you catch Trump saying, I put that in my highlight reel? Did you catch that? I caught that. His highlight reel. He was talking about Mike Collins. He said, Mike Collins, you remember Mike? He said, when you were grilling Bob Mueller, remember everybody, Mueller time? Everybody's forgetting that. That was a huge moment in American history when Bob Mueller went before Congress. And all of the media was going, oh, Trump's going to get it now. Oh, boy. Then they were selling T-shirts. It's Mueller time. And the biggest flop. And Trump said, hey, remember, Mike, when you were asking him this, did you not say this? Didn't it true that this was the facts? He said, that's part of my highlight reel. So there's highlight reels. And I think at the end of it all, well, it's freedom is an ongoing battle, so it's not going to be an end. But of this particular chapter in our nation's history, when it's been written, there is going to be documentation, and it is going to be in the form of film, what we refer to as film. Folks in our day and age, I guess people still generally refer to it as film. There's going to be a documentary, multiple documentaries, a cogent reconstruction, accurate historical reflection of what has happened and what they've done. Now, we may not know the complete severity of the crimes, but we will know enough of the severity so as not to shock the conscience to the point where it causes psychological harm. But it will shock the conscience, the national conscience, and the conscience of the world to the point where people will say, when time for retribution, which is lawful sentences to be carried out, that the majority of the people will say, this is righteous, this has to be done. This has to be done to protect society. I'm just checking my, holy cow. I got a couple of things up here. Now, I'm keeping an eye on Pillow Man because he's going to be putting something in front of SCOTUS. SCOTUS is going to end up like a kind of like, remember how I was talking about my grandmother was saying, I got to watch my stories when they had things like Peyton Place and General Hospital come out. SCOTUS, I think, is going to be where people got to watch their stories. Maybe it'll be a weekly thing where we get rulings or get to hear oral arguments. I don't know. But we're getting to the point where it has to be, I hate to put it this way, but a simplified record. A simplified record of what's going on. An understandable record. Yeah, David, you don't want to fight more, don't like to argue that. Yeah, you don't have. I tell you what, when we're dealing with people at the level they're at, what did James Madison said, it was either about stubborn or ignorant people, or ignorant and stubborn people. Trying to talk sense to them is like trying to give medicine to the dead. In other words, don't waste your time. And the other thing that people have said in the chats, which is prescient thing to say, is it's throwing pearls before swine. But as we watch this unfold, I'm more and more convinced it's like I was saying 2 years ago, what got me into this was that this was going to be a drawn out process, a long march is what I called it. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And it's for the sake of unity, and success brings unity. Yes, that's true. But education, facts and the truth bring unity also, and understanding. Understanding brings unity, along with success. The success will come after the IQ test. That's right, asymmetric warfare. Oh my goodness, Jax. That's CHY. Okay, Jax. Man, they'll zero in on this thing. You know who owns this platform? You know who owns Goggle, right? Chyna. So if you spell the country's name out exactly like it is, I'll get in trouble. So please, Chyna. You know who owns this? Antic and Antoc. Goggle. Meta. Because they own DARPA. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, David, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. Because, David is saying, the media attacks made him take a second look at Joe, right? I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up, folks? Or are you able to hear me? I haven't seen any. Am I breaking up, folks? Jersey Joseph, 5x5. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Clear. Everybody's saying clear. Single songwriters got it up there top. Examples. Obuma. Yeah. Thanks for keeping us all safe. Loud and clear. Everybody's saying loud and clear. Check your device. Back to what David was saying. That's why I'm talking about there are people out there who they go to work and their coworkers say they can't stand Mr. T, especially if they work in the government. When they come home and turn on their regular cable that they pay out of the nose for. So it's got to be right. I'm paying $75, $125 a month for this, and all I get is MSNBC, CNN, So they're all saying Trump's no damn good. Oh my gosh, what time is I got to get them go to work in the morning? So they don't have time to do research. And those are the people that I think I know Trump is reaching out to, and it's the people I've always tried to reach out to. I don't think everybody that doesn't like Mr. T is a crazy purple hair. Hi, Aracels. Hi, Tracy. Even though a lot of them are, all of the purple hairs are going to go for the Dems, especially when Biden said to trans kids, I have your back. I'm sitting here thinking, and it's why I brought up the story about the Chrysler loan from the 70s and similar stories. What a shock it was and how it became a national debate. And I believe it was somewhere like 35 or 38 million initially the Iacocca asked for from the government. And everybody in the country is like, we're not going to give a private country a loan, not a grant. And it went through, and by the time it was all said and done, now here we got them giving away billions to private companies in the form of grants. Oh, you're making solar panels? You're making windmills? Well, we'll give you a research grant for $1.5 billion. Is that enough? You want more? Back in my day, it was outrageous. And I'm tying that into any candidate, but the president saying through the television, through your phone or whatever, to your child, if you're a trans, I got your back. My God, you talk about a march on Washington. It would have never been done in the 70s. But hey, that's back when gas was a quarter, right? 25 cents. Boop. Remember that, folks? Got 4 quarters? Yeah. Oh, good. Even in gas guzzler, you go 100 miles with 4 quarters. So anyway, I remember back when Reagan was running for office, they barely insulted him. And they were walking on eggshells then because the American people didn't put up with that kind of crap. And what they're saying about Trump and have been saying through his presidency when he was on foreign soil, outrageous and unheard of. Hey, the dude, how you doing? I'm just looking through the chats. You remember that 25-cent gas, and you got your windshield done. Got your windshield cleaned. You're not blocked from chat to cat. Let me see. You asked a question. Let me scroll back and see where it's at. What's the question? Your question is this it? My conclusions from research don't add up to the world I'm living in. Where are we supposed to go from here? Just stay good. Where are we supposed to go from here? We are going, man. Hey, this is Putin said it. He said that the Western medias are controlled, and to overcome that, there's not enough money in the whole Eastern bloc or Asian bloc, whatever you want, to overcome the Western media's being bought out like it has been. And the only way you could do it is try to buy them out. And he said it'd be cost prohibitive. Well, here is where we come in. And here is where Mr. T comes in. Here's where the digital warriors come in. And we have been coming in. Oh, really? His song's been banned? All right, yeah, well, I'm sure I'll be seeing it on Truth Social. Y'all been going to Truth Social? I don't even know if I can say that without getting in trouble. I know when I post my videos on there, no notifications go out. Rollins had 34 cents a gallon when he bought his first car. That must have been in mid 70s, early 70s. And then it blew up after that, 75 and 76, just with the embargo. The dude says a major problem. The lines of illegals are moving. He gets put a 1 for an I, the dude, or a 4 for an E, and the word eagles, like sick eagles. You can't, Joe can't even use that word. He got in trouble for using that word, Rollin. You mean the newcomers are moving? That's right, single songwriter. We're the ones making history. That's another thing I meant to bring up about Biden with the newcomers. That jobs report that they were all squawking about for January, I believe it was January or February, 350,000 new jobs created. 2 days later, they're putting out Biden granted 2 million work visas for air quotes newcomers. That month, 1 month, 2 million work visas in 1 month. Wait a minute, 300 and some thousand minus 2 million leaves 1.6 or 1.7 million negative for American jobs. IQ test, math, simple. Mr. 81 million votes. Hi, Lori. Astro, how you doing? Oh, I bet, Mary. How you doing, Mary? God, can you imagine cleaning up in some of the, I mean, some of the countries they're coming from, and I'm not picking on any nationality. Some of the countries they're coming from, they've never seen a toilet. I am not kidding you. They don't know what toilet's for. That's right. Check the oil, clean the windshield, check the tire pressure. Man, those days are long gone. Another thing that Trump said toward the end of the speech, he said, maybe overly optimistic, I don't know. He said every problem that Biden caused can be solved, and every injustice can be set right. Did you all catch that? In civil matters, it's called being restored. If you've been damaged civilly, you can be legally restored. And for criminal matters, retribution. Okay. Now, I'll tell you, with Tish James talking about re-educating people, I know just about everybody in the chats that heard that. Let me just pontificate on that a little bit. I'm trying to see what these I think I got another message, but it won't put it out for me. And somebody give me some booms if you kicked in to buy me a coffee. Other than Bevan, Mike in Tennessee, I don't know what's going on with my notification, but anyway, daggone it. Well, what she's done with this re-education crap, she is talking exactly what we learned in high school was something that was a horror in Soviet Union and CHYNA, right? Re-education, communism, Marxism. And these firefighters and their family members are going to see with their local union bosses who's a scumbag and who isn't. And I talked about how unions, they're great. If they're not corrupt, they're great. If their union leaders haven't been bought out by Marxists and communists, that'll drive the business to destruction. Like Hostess cupcakes and like what they're getting ready to do with our entire auto industry. Trump said it enough times. So now the firefighters can see how this union structure is being corrupted by politics. What business did Letitia James have going to talk to the firefighters in the first place? She's an attorney general, not Smokey Bear. And as she said herself, we're in a house of God. See how they fall back on God? The godless try to fall back on God. Joe bringing up things that are holy or godly is disgusting. Nancy Pelosi doing the same thing. But anyway, what was she doing there in the first place? What did she expect? So this is nothing because we know they're not going to be able to walk down the street when this is over with. They won't be able to walk down the street. So what's getting booed? What's the big deal? But go ahead and show yourself. Show all the rottenness and the stank inside you. And that's what she's doing. We're going to hunt you. We don't want to have to hunt them down. That's what they had in a letter, okay, to the unions. Okay, tell these people to volunteer and admit that they booed and take these re-education courses because we don't want to have to hunt them down. That no way somebody can say that's Russian disinformation, because it got spread around, just like Fannie Willis, her indictment being memorialized, recorded in the courthouse, officially was spread around the world before the grand jury finished its business. Remember that move, the lady in the orange dress? I pointed that out. Well, somebody in Letitia James's orbit office, whatever, put out that letter that said, so we don't have to hunt them down, re-education. That is going to get in deep in people's minds. Yeah, David, this scary talking. And wait till they get down to action. People still don't realize the seriousness. I know that old man in Utah, and I call him the old man in Utah because I can't remember his name. He was putting up some nasty posts about Biden. I mean, but no nastier than any Keith Olbermann or any wackadoodle on Facebook that couldn't stand Trump was putting out. What did they do, that man? At dawn, the old guy's in the fart sack. He's sleeping. He's what, 70 years old? Going around on a little, what do they call those little scooters you sit on? Run-a-bug or whatever they call them, a bug-a-doodle or whatever. He had a cane. He couldn't get around. And he was making Facebook posts. Biden needs to be strung up for treason, or I've got to get my scope ready, for the big day. Tough talk from an old man. They kicked his door and at dawn, and he didn't make it. He didn't even sit up in bed, and they made him look like a spaghetti sieve. And then drug him out in front of his house, out in the sidewalk near the street, left him lay out there for hours while they searched through his house, taking care of a blind son. So, yeah, it's scary talk, but that's scary action. That's scary action, folks. We already got one guy in jail for a meme. For months. Was it 4 months? Because of the Hillary Clinton meme back in 2015, 2016. He's sitting in jail right now over a meme. And now we got this bunch coming up accusing meme makers of breaking campaign laws, committing crimes. What was Fannie Willis's knee jerk? To threaten Nathan Wade's wife. She's still his wife. They're not formally divorced. They would be if he'd have been honest. But you know what? In some states, if I won the lottery and I had a lottery ticket, they said, you got 6 months to cash this in. And a lot of states do that. 180 days, 180 days. And I won for like 10 million. I said, oh my gosh. I got to get rid of that old battle axe. And so I hide my ticket and I file for divorce. And I get a divorce. No fault divorce. No fault. Part ways.
in some states, if you hide your assets and get caught, guess what? You lose all of it. You lose all of it. Nathan. So maybe that's why they have, remember a long time ago, I said the inviculo. You're married until you get what's called your inviculo. That's my understanding as a layman. I'm not an attorney, but you're married until you get your final decree, your inviculo. He hadn't got his inviculo to this day. He was hiding his income. Then come to find out he was hiding it in a special account that attorneys have for escrow. It's not supposed to be used for that purpose, but that's where he was stashing his money. He wasn't reporting it. So he's going to have all kinds of problems. So Fannie. So give them enough rope. What do? Hi, Jerry Lee. How you doing? Jersey Joe said Fannie can't hide her assets. That's like that old joke about Oprah Winfrey. She got in trouble for smuggling 200 pounds of crack. You remember that Oprah joke? Cheer, Oprah went to jail. What? Yeah, she was smuggling 100 pounds of crack. But anyway, that's a Fannie joke now. But anyway, folks, let's see what else are we? Oh, I've been meaning to say this since we lost the first one. Abrams tanks. We had an Abrams tank get blown up. Like, remember what I said about the Leopard tanks and Abrams tanks? I said, you're going over there screwing around with a top-of-the-line military as far as on a national, worldwide scale, okay? Top-of-the-line militaries are going to be the United States of America, Russia, okay, and China, okay? And back in the pack, you got France, Great Britain, whatever. But anyway, the top three dogs, it's like shooting beer cans. I said it was like shooting beer cans. So I saw a video of the first Abrams tank getting blown up. And I heard Instagram was pulling down videos where people would share the video. And I don't know why, because it looked like any other tank or half track or anything else getting whacked, but they were pulling it down. If I put a clip in the video, it would be gone. So then a second one got it. Then 2 days ago, a third one got it. I had it in my queue to pull up and talk about 3 Abrams tanks. And so I said, well, let me put this where I can tell everybody the 3 tanks got it over there in New Crystal. So how much do they cost a piece? All right. And they're gone. I got one other thing after these Abrams tanks, and it's got to do with Jeffrey E. Okay, folks? A little something you all might want to check out. But anyway. Well, last night, what comes over the wires? A fourth one. A fourth Abrams tank last night got it. That's right, Roland. The other part of that is 3 Patriot batteries got taken out. Let me just read this bulletin from the what I call them, the Eastern News Services, folks, about new Russian bombs, right, is one. But the Patriot missiles, well, I told you about Azerbaijan messing around with Armenia, right? Keep an eye on that. But the American media confirmed the destruction of at least two, and that means two more, because one got it about 3 weeks to a month ago. Confirmed the destruction of at least two Patriot air defense missile launchers as a result of a Russian missile attack in the Krasnoarmeysk area. According to statements in the American media, members of the crew almost certainly died. Who exactly was destroyed in the complexes is not specified. It is likely there could have been American soldiers there. We're not talking mercenaries. We're talking active duty Americans. That's my initial understanding. Are we going to hear about it? Are the parents going to be told? The wife or husband or whatever? Or when are we going to hear about it? And that report came out right after this report. Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski, very famous name, said that NATO troops are already on the territory of Ukraine. He didn't reveal any secret here. Since 2022, NATO has been waging a proxy war against Russia in Ukraine with the use of regular troops posing as instructors, military advisors, or mercenaries, or volunteers, while suffering losses in people and material. Those of you who have been with me since my first channel, I was talking about the Canadian brass, okay, the Canadian general that was dismissed and ended up down in Mariupol, and they did everything they could to rescue him. So, yeah, this stuff's coming to light, and it, you know, this is the thing that should concern them. I don't know if it will. This is about a new type of BOMB. New Russian aerial BOMBs, which the Western press has written about lately, have, quote, changed the balance of power at the front. This is a CNN report. We're talking about the FAB 1500. A 1.5 ton weapon, half of which consists of high explosives. It is dropped from above by fighter jets from a distance of approximately 60 to 70 kilometers beyond the reach of many Ukrainian air defense systems. Experts believe that the American Patriot complex is almost the only missile defense system that can handle such bombs, but the Ukrainians have a limited number of them as well as missiles for them. The report goes on, and I'll redress it, but that might be the answer as to why there's 3 Patriot batteries been taken out recently, because they're going to start using these bombs. Recent videos from fighting in Donetsk region has, quote, demonstrated the enormous power of these bombs. The quote goes on, the damage caused by it is very serious. If you survive, you are guaranteed to have shell shock. This puts a lot of pressure on the morale of our soldiers, of these soldiers. Not all of our guys can stand it. If they are more or less accustomed to the FAB 500, then the FAB 1500 is, quote, like hell. This is hell. A military man from the front line that is being stormed by Russian troops told the agency. Russian specialized public claim that the accuracy of the FAB 1500 is 5 meters. CNN cites the opinion that the Russian Federation has a, quote, inexhaustible supply. 5 meters is roughly 15 feet. Okay, it's 1.5 tons. If some lands like that lands 15 feet from you, you're finished. So, okay, we got Abrams tanks getting knocked out, Patriot missile batteries getting knocked out. They've got this new inexhaustible supply of this particular ordnance. And here's a meme I will put up in my next. Well, I can't even say it. America's next top export should be ILL Eagle immigrants. So, yeah, I used to say our top export should be the American spirit, should be the top thing that we export. And I still hold to that. But 12 months from now, for a period of time, our top export has to be people who are here unlawfully. So let me just check the chats here. Yeah, I had a friend of mine say he went to Taco Bell and it was like $15. I said, what do you do? Throw a party? You know, remember the 99-cent tacos? You go in there and just get a big old greasy bag for $5. You eat till you puked. But now it's like you get one thing, a side and a drink, and it's unreal. Well, Democrats, I don't think we're going to export it. Some of them are going to be exported, Andrew. They're going to go to Cuba, and some of them are going to be sitting in behind bars. Oh, I forgot. It's in my daggone title. Laura Trump, she was made the co-chair, okay, of the RNC. She said something echoing what Mr. T has said and Mike Davis. They've been warned. That's what I got put in my next thumbnail. They've been warned. Or I got it in this thumbnail, don't I? People cheating in the election will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is part of the IQ test. What, are you stupid? If you can't hear that from Trump and take it seriously, if you can't hear it from Mike Davis and take it seriously, now you're hearing it from Laura Trump, okay? And she's just been put in a prominent national position, and she said it in no uncertain terms. Anybody that's cheating in an election is going to be prosecuted to the criminally prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So they had all these willy-nilly nitwits, okay, like Ruby and her daughter, countless other mules. Boy, they better be paying attention, because if they pull it this time, they'll be looking at, even for little BS stuff in and stuff like that, they'll be looking at 5 years. For the little namby-pamby stuff, the people doing it on a higher level, they'll be looking at a decade or more in jail. And I have no problem saying that, and it's for their own damn good to hear it. You'll ruin your life if you get caught. So if you're thinking I can get $40 for each piece of paper, if you know what I mean, I bring 100 in on Tuesday and I get $40. Do the math. $40 times 100. That was the going rate in Georgia, I heard, and Minnesota and Michigan, $40 to $45. When they're using our own tax money the scam Obama used to pull, giving it to the NGOs, Georgie Sorosio organizations, giving government money. They would fine businesses hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they would tell those companies, give the fines to the NGOs, and you only have to pay half of your $100 million fine. They give $50 million to these NGOs by Obama extortion. And then the NGOs use that money to pay people $40 to $45 for a piece of paper. And those companies have to make that money back by charging more for their product or service that we pay for. So it doesn't matter to them. But this time around, there's a structure in place, has been in place, 2018, okay? 2020, okay, I can't, that, if I just say it right out, I get in trouble. So, and 2024, it's all been laid out. We got people in place. It's being watched. It's being monitored, tracked. Like Trump said, I know who they are, who most of them are. Right now, we're in a flush out stage, flushing out the remnants, okay? And evaluation process. Who's going to go, who's going to be kicked out of positions, and who's going to be going to jail. And it'll all culminate. And I know, a lot of people say the election, we won't have an election. And that may be true. That may be true. But something's going to happen, folks, and we're not going to lose. We will not fail. We heard that from the 17th letter. We will not fail. And just because the election gets postponed, just because it got stolen, we hadn't failed. What's the mission? Get rid of the Marxists, communists, and radicals, okay, and unify the country. That's the mission. We will not fail. So, folks, with all that in mind, I hope you guys are keeping your chins up. I hope you are appreciating the gravity of what's happening, the extent that our neighbors are being educated and waking up, and embrace these times. Stay positive. Don't argue with people like we were talking about earlier. It just makes you sick. Don't argue with them. It's an IQ test. Counsel them. So, I hope you all had a good time tonight. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. I want to thank Tennessee for stopping by, buy me a coffee, and help sponsor tonight's program. And I want to thank Bev and Mike for stopping by and helping me out before the program. And Angela and Gary last night. And everybody that's helped me out this week. I do appreciate it so much. Holy, let me get up here. Yeah, Lone Wolf helped out this week, and Christopher and Miss Minder Sue. I appreciate it so much. All right, folks. So anyway, I'll be seeing you soon. I appreciate you spending your precious time with me. It's precious, folks. Every day is a bonus. And we're here for a reason. And I will be seeing you soon, folks. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.